Hello and welcome to Cal Conversations. I'm Beth Hadfield, the Activity Coordinator at the Center for Active Living. This week, I will be introducing you to our wellness and fitness instructors. They have a lot of good information to share with you and what to expect if you have not taken their class before. Sit back and enjoy learning what they and we have to offer. Hi, today I'd like to welcome Barbara Ward, a yoga instructor. She teaches breathing lessons here at the Cal on Zoom. So Barbara's never live in the building. She's always on Zoom. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We're very glad to have you and have you teach with us all year long. Barbara, can you tell us a little bit of your background and how you came to be a yoga instructor? But you're even more than that, but I'm not sure how to describe you.
I like being indescribable, I guess, but I'm very qualified to be with the Council on Active Living since I'm going to be 85 in a few months. And when I was 25, I had 2 kids, and I thought, is this all there is? And I found yoga, and it's been the staple of my life ever since. So we're talking about, 60 years almost.
Wow. We are very glad to have you as one of our instructors and to be part of our Cal family.
Thank you.
Barbara, could you describe breathing lessons if someone was going to join your Zoom class to understand how you break it down, how long it is, and what you do while you're Zooming?
Well, while we're Zooming, we're doing what I hope we're doing all the time, which is breathing. And we take breath for granted. So I spend an hour just reviewing what it's like to be mindful of breath, to understand how important breath is for our emotional health, our mental health, and our physical health. And that the more conscious we are of our breath, the more conscious we are of being in the present moment. And it's very low key. Everybody is very relaxed, very centered. And I'm the first one to say that it's very self-serving for me too, because most of us, as I said, take our breath for granted. And it isn't until we find out that we have shortness of breath or something else untoward happens, we don't really realize the magnitude of what it means to be awake and aware that you're breathing in and breathing out.
So while we're breathing, how do you guide the class? Do you talk to us the whole time about what you're thinking about, what you're focusing on? How does that piece work?
Well, we do. There actually are breathing practices that are part of a yoga practice where there are different kinds of breaths that we learn to do. But I try to remind people that they're not just breathing in their belly or their chest, that there's an actual organ of respiration. And we do some of those breaths. I read a lot of poems sometimes. I am a lifelong learner, and I try to encourage people by sharing some of the things that I've read and thought about. And that when we breathe consciously, I remind people that's the only time that we're really in the present moment. Most of the time, those of us are either, annoyed and disgusted about something that happened yesterday, or looking forward to, or almost sometimes dreading what's coming in the future. So being here now is the most important thing.
I love that. I love that.
And breathing is the best medicine for life.
That's very true. That's very true. We would not be here without it.
No, that's for sure. And it's just 30 minutes of really, I think, total relaxation and hopefully inspiration, because we do live in fearful times. And I think that I do help, at least I know I help myself relieve some of my anxiety and fear about the future.
So this is a 30-minute class from 11 to 11:30.
Correct.
And if this were my very, very, very first class Zooming with you, is there anything that I should know or be prepared for in any way?
No, not at all. It'll just be giving yourself permission to really understand what it means to just settle into being where you are, and not a to-do list. There's really nothing to do except to be the breathing human being that you already are.
Awesome. Barbara, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. And I know that people will get something out of your breathing lessons if they were to join you. And just a reminder, breathing lessons is every Tuesday from 11 to 11:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beth, for all you do.
Right now, I would like to welcome Debbie Rafferty to the show. And Debbie is going to talk about cardio, dance, and toning today. So welcome, Debbie.
Thank you for having me.
I am very glad to have you. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your experience with fitness and specifically about your class. So our first question today is, what is your background and training in fitness?
Okay, well, I guess my background in training probably began as a high school tennis coach for Silver Lake. I coached the high school tennis team for about 20 years.
Oh my God.
I was a special ed teacher at the high school. So I do have a degree in special ed and a master's in education and about 30, 40 hours of postgraduate work in education. So I think it kind of segued me into teaching fitness classes, because I was used to doing some individualized instruction, and I was also coaching tennis, different abilities and different things like that. So I pretty much one day just decided, upon retiring from my position as a high school teacher, that I thought I'd like to be teaching fitness classes. So in 2011, I got my first license to become a Zumba instructor. And then I branched on from that to get my group exercise certification so I could teach other forms of fitness.
That is fantastic. And I think you've been here almost the whole time.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. I agree. I agree. So if for the people watching our show today, can you describe what cardio, dance, and toning is like?
Okay. I will begin by saying I sort of created what I'm doing during the pandemic.
Okay.
Because I started to Zoom and people were coming in from home. So I had been doing primarily Zumba, and people were looking for pop familiar music. So cardio, dance, and tone is basically choreographed exercise to a variety of pop music. So you will be doing a cardio class. The toning component is also using light weights to do overall increase of muscle, flexibility, strength, endurance, to give yourself a full body workout, not just cardio. So we're adding the cardio with some muscle improvement.
Okay. Is the entire class done standing?
Yes, the entire class is standing.
And
In all of the routines, when I do the cardio portion of it, I'm probably going to go ahead of myself. I always start by saying, people know their body best. Go at your own pace. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. Have fun, move your body. Don't worry about if you're following what I'm doing or whatever. When I add the weights, and I generally say 1 to 3 pound weights, I personally only use the 1 pound weight so I can use better form and not
Okay.
try to use momentum. And again, anything I do, again, they're choreographed. Everything in my class is choreographed. But there are people freestyling, and that's fine too. You can do your own thing. But if you don't want to do something with the weights, you don't need to. You can come in and do anything with no weights.
okay, so then you do not have to have a history in dance to
No.
be able to come into your class and exercise.
No, you do not. And I will say, you asked if we're standing. I do have some classes where people do need a chair on occasion if they need to rest, or if they want to sit or something bothers them, they can sit, do upper body stuff. They can tap with their feet, whatever. You don't have to always be standing if you need to sit.
Perfect. That's
And if
great
you need
because
to incorporate balance routines in this class. And I will say to people, again, you don't have to do everything. If you need to hold on to the wall, fine. Everything is individualized. It really is. You can look in my class and see people not doing anything that looks like what I'm doing, but they're there, they're moving, they're
and they're
exercising.
having a good time. And sometimes that's the biggest thing, is getting out there, being with people and having a good time, even if they're not following exact to the letter everything you're telling them.
Right.
Good. So my last question for you is, if this were my first class with you ever doing cardio, dance, and toning, do you have anything specific that you would want me to know?
I think the most important thing I'm seeing is everybody's body temperature seems to be very different. Some people get hot very fast. Some people are cold all the time. So I would say dress in layers, because I think sometimes people are surprised that they're hot and they're sweating. It is an exercise class. So I would say dress. So if you know you're going to get hot, you could take a layer off or keep it on if you're cold, in the right shoes. Right now, it is a cardio class, but we are doing some fitness. So I don't recommend dance shoes for my class. I would say a sneaker, not something with a big grip that you're going to do trail walking in. You don't want something that's going to stick to the floor.
Okay.
Any kind of, like a lot of people play pickleball, any kind of a shoe you'd wear with tennis, or a cross train or anything simple like that.
Okay.
Just a nice supportive shoe that you can move and feel comfortable in. In water. I know you have water there, but you should be drinking water when you're exercising. So that's about it. You don't need anything else.
Awesome. Debbie, I cannot thank you enough for joining me today. This is Debbie Rafferty. She teaches cardio, dance, and toning every Monday at 9 a.m. Please come and give her class a try. Thanks again, Deb.
Thank you.
Hi, today I'd like to welcome Kathy Demers. She is our Qigong instructor to our show. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Today, my first question for you today is that I would like to know what your background is and how you got to be a Qigong instructor.
Okay, well, I was a special ed elementary school teacher in Plymouth for 31 years, 29 years at West and 2 at Federal Furnace. And I loved teaching. And about 8 years before I retired, I started taking a Tai Chi and Qigong class with my instructor, Fawn Chili, was her studio at the Spire Center in Plymouth. And so after taking classes with her for 8 years, I retired, and she asked me if I would become an instructor for her. So I apprenticed with her, and I have now been a teacher for about 5 years. And I absolutely love Tai Chi and Qigong. So I really love bringing it out to the public and showing people how they can improve their health and wellness through this ancient Chinese practice.
That is fantastic. And both Fang and Peter actually taught with us over the years. So you really did have great, great mentors. That goes without saying.
Yes, definitely.
I thought my next question for you would be, if someone were joining your Qigong class for the very first time, could you describe what class is like?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So my class is divided into different sections. It starts out with a warm-up that's about 15 to 20 minutes long. And it's a warm-up that works head to toe, warming up the body. It specifically targets the joints. In Chinese medicine, the joints are considered the gates, like gates in a fence. They're openings where a lot of energy flows.
Okay.
So, and also where a lot of energy can get congested. So we do a lot to work with the joints to prepare them for the practice. We also have a section of the class that is externally stimulating the flow of energy through what we call tapping and dusting on particular points on the body, joints as well as acupressure points.
Okay.
And then we also do a Qigong series called the 8 Pieces of Silk Brocade. And this is where we bring in fresh energy and balance it throughout the body.
Your class is an hour long, or is it 45 minutes or an hour?
It's an hour.
It's an
And
hour.
it's pretty power packed. Although I would like to say that it can be done standing or sitting, so it can accommodate any level of fitness.
Okay.
And it's a multi-level class. And so I really would encourage people to come in and try it out. Qigong, it literally translates as Qi is energy, and Gong means to work or cultivate. So for the hour that we're there, we're working and cultivating energy. And that energy is used for our own maintenance, repair, cell repair, revitalization of the body. So it's very, very beneficial for people of all levels.
I love that. So just to reiterate, I know when I've walked by class, most people are standing.
Mm-hmm.
If needed, could this be done seated?
Yes. Yes, I have taught classes before in other locations where the whole class is seated.
Okay.
A portion of our class, about 10 to 15 minutes in the middle of the class, we do a seated routine.
Okay.
And at any time, people can always sit or stand for any part of the routine. And I do have people who come to class that will, on their own, sit and stand as needed.
As
To
needed.
participate.
Do you have to have good balance?
Well,
or can class help with that?
yes, yes.
Okay.
So right now, many professionals are recommending Tai Chi and Qigong for balance and
Okay.
as an anti-fall prevention. So that
Okay.
we really do work a lot. It's a very integrative practice. And
Okay.
so it involves posture, and then with the posture, deep rhythmic breathing, and also long flowing motions. So all of these postures really help to establish better balance.
Good. Excellent. Well, that is very important. I know lately I seem to hear a lot of people talking about balance and ways that they can improve it. And I definitely think we have to make sure we add your class to that list so people will know after doing this, over time, it definitely can help.
Mhm.
My last question for you is, if this were your very first class, is there anything special that you would want people to know for the very first time walking in to Qigong?
Yes, I would want you to wear comfortable clothing,
Okay,
first of all, and to bring a bottle of water because
Okay.
we do hydrate through the class. A lot of moving the energy through the class means also that we want to keep our bodies hydrated to help move the energy.
okay,
And then also to just come and enjoy the class.
good,
Check it out.
good. Well, Kathy, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me.